Okay, so it is August 12th. It is a Sunday. And yeah, things have been kind of rough again. Ever since Wednesday. And since I don't have therapy until this upcoming Wednesday, I really just need to talk and vent out my feelings because I'm starting to feel really shitty about myself again. And I don't want to go back to feeling that way. So, what happened Wednesday? It's not really funny, I'm just laughing to cover up how upset it all made me, I guess that's the word. And yeah, so I haven't really talked about like what put me in such a crappy place for the past couple months, and I'm just gonna talk a little bit about that because it has to do with what happened on Wednesday. I'll just say this now, I've only really been ever in one real relationship. Before that, I had like boyfriends, not many. And up until last year, the last boyfriend I had was when I was 15 years old. And he was a couple of years older than me. So that was a little weird. I was 15, I think he was turning 19. Yeah. And I went out with him because a friend wanted me to, and was like, oh, we can double date, because it was her boyfriend's friend, that type of stupid thing in high school. But I did. We dated, and it was very clear early on that he was more into me than I was into him. And I think that was just because I was 15. I wasn't, taking things like too seriously. And he wanted to take things very seriously. He would text me and, be like, oh, my parents aren't home, wink, wink. Like, I may have been 15, but I wasn't stupid. Like, I knew what he meant by that, obviously. And yeah, there were just things like that where he would move way too fast, and I was, not prepared to deal with all of that. And then, prior to, that, I had grown up around a bunch of guys. I had guy friends, so I had some stuff that happened with them that kind of put in my head like all guys are like this, all guys are the same. So, but I was hoping that he was different, but he wasn't. And so, I broke up with him, and that was the end of that. And then I didn't date anybody until last year, and that's when I was 15, and I'm 27 now, so this is when I was 26. So from 15 to 26, I didn't have a boyfriend. I wasn't really interested, in dating anybody. Like, yeah, sure, I had crushes on guys, and I thought guys were cute or whatever, but I wasn't seriously thinking about dating any of them. And the one or two that I did really want to get to know and possibly date kind of proved to me that really all they wanted from me was something that I wasn't willing to give them. So yeah, last year, I met this guy through a mutual friend, and, when we first met, I thought he was cute, and he was funny, and he was sweet, and, just very nice and caring, and there was definitely like an immediate attraction to him, and I don't know if he would say this now, but we were dating, he said, oh yeah, I was interested in you too, so there was mutual interest, and, so I'm gonna say I pursued him, but I got my friend to give my number to his friend, and, that type of thing, because, so I did that, and we started talking, and, we got to hang out with each other, and, but every time, we would hang out, like in a group. It was like me, him, my best friend, and my other friend. So, it wasn't like we got to spend a lot of time by ourselves. But, we did end up being like, well, you know what, I like you, you like me, let's do this, let's date. I was like, okay, he, like I said, up until now, there was nothing that made me go like, whoa, no, he's one of those types of guys. So I was like, no, he's actually a good guy, and we talked a lot, and he was always really interested in like what I was interested in, and it was nice to feel that sort of connection with someone that I really didn't feel anything like that even when I was 15 with my other boyfriend. So there was that emotional connection that I needed in order to get close physically. But things were good, but we both kind of like rushed into things, and whether that was my fault or his fault or both our fault, I don't know, but we liked each other, so we thought, why not just start dating. And I was actually getting kind of like anxious when I was like alone with him, and I think that was just from like past stuff. So I actually started going to therapy, and not just because I started dating him, but because of just being anxious overall. I need to talk about things. There was a lot of crap that went on like beforehand. Sorry about that. My mom needed me for a second. But yeah, where was I? Oh, so past traumas and stuff. It started to affect me more, whereas before it didn't, because I wasn't in a relationship with anyone, so I wasn't constantly worrying about it or thinking about it all the time. But then I started thinking about stuff more and more, and just stuff that I've never dealt with, and yeah, it started to affect him too, because it's normal to be in a relationship with someone and want to be physical and intimate, and to me it wasn't normal. To me it scared the shit out of me, and it still does. But I was trying so hard to just be okay with it and let things happen, and not worry so much, because I had this amazing guy who was patient for the most part, and kind, and cared and was interested in like things I was interested in, and we bonded on like so much, and and he was, broken in his own sort of way too, who isn't really. But there was just that thing that I couldn't get over. I couldn't get ready or be ready or be physically available to him when he wanted me to. So, he broke up with me. And it sucked. Really sucked because I felt like in my own way I was trying and I was getting better and I was so close to being close or ready, even though the last night we spent together probably didn't seem that way. But that's just because his needs were not the same as my needs. I needed to feel comfortable enough with him to fall asleep in a bed next to him, because I never slept in a bed with someone before. Still haven't. And I don't know why, but that was like a really jarring thing that I couldn't, I couldn't relax enough around him just to like fall asleep in a bed with him, not even like do anything, just fall asleep. I couldn't. And like that was really kind of telling of how much I wasn't okay with everything and how much I still need to work on and how much that was gonna, affect our future relationship, even though we don't have one. But yeah, so that was a couple months ago. So that was like 5 or 6 months ago when all this was going on. At the same time, I also lost my best friend. Not lost as in like she died, lost as in she decided she didn't want to be friends with me anymore, or I wasn't worth it, or whatever. I don't want to get to that right now. But so having your heart broken and it feeling like I felt like the reason was me. It was because I'm just gonna say it, because I wouldn't sleep with him. That's what I felt like. I felt like, okay, here's another guy who just wanted sex from me and wasn't going to get it because I couldn't get comfortable enough. I couldn't deal with what happened in the past. I couldn't just throw caution to the wind and shut my mind off. There was a disconnect between my mind and my body because things that did happen, like, they felt good at the time, but then later my mind was just racing and racing and racing, and that's why I couldn't fall asleep. And I was so worried that this thing that was just, we couldn't talk about it, we couldn't make jokes about it or anything like that. Anytime the subject came up, he would always apologize and feel sorry that he brought it up, and but like I was okay talking about it. I'm more comfortable talking about it now than I was probably 5 months ago because therapy. But it was just really heartbreaking to feel like no one's ever going to be able to love me because of things that happened. And because of that, I push people away and I don't let people close physically. So on Wednesday, after therapy, of course, everything always happens to me after therapy. He texts me, just saying hi and, asking me how I am, and, like, I'm not gonna lie, when I saw the name on my phone pop up, I was like, what the fuck? Like, why now? So random after, like, 5 or 6 months of not talking, not seeing each other. Now, you decide to reach out to me. So, we text each other, which was stupid. We probably should have talked to each other face to face, but we were texting each other, back and forth, and he said he was sorry, and, I apologize for my part in it, because I'm a firm believer that in a relationship, whether it be, like, a friendship or, a relationship you have with a family member or a significant other, it takes two to break it. That's how I feel. It takes two people to break something like that. And yeah, we broke it. Yeah, so he was texting me, and, within a couple minutes, he had me laughing, like, like he did before, and, it was just, it was nice to just, like, reconnect, and, in my mind, I was like, okay, he reached out. That means, he cares, and it's not just about, getting something from me. Then his text got a little flirty. I'm not gonna lie, at first I was so, like, just, like, amazed that he texted me at all, that I was just kind of going along with it, and I'm like, wait a minute, this isn't talking about cuddling and talking about, like, giving me neck massages and inviting me over. Like, the first time we talked in, like, 5 or 6 months, you're inviting me over, and then you're telling me you're lonely. I'm not, even now, I'm like, well, yeah, maybe, but maybe not. Like, initially, I was just like, okay, he's just, like, lonely, and then we started talking some more, and he said something like, well, I have needs, yeah, I don't care. I'm sorry, but, like, you have needs? I didn't know what he wanted from me, and, well, I know people are probably, listening to this or watching this and thinking, duh, we know what he wanted from you. He wanted to hook up. That was my thought, too. Because, I mean, if you're texting your ex saying how you're lonely and that you're talking about cuddling and this and that, it doesn't take an idiot to put two and two together and be like, oh, okay, this is what he wants, this is what's going on. And in my head, I'm like, okay, this is why he reached out. This is why he texted me. Because he's lonely and looking for somebody. And yeah, I kind of had to just flat out say to him, like, listen, you're texting me, telling me that you're lonely, and flirty messages. Like, what am I supposed to think? you say you have needs, what am I supposed to think that, you know, you want from me? And I said, I'm like, I'm just wondering, like, why now? Why after all this time? Why? And just like, oh, because I want to apologize and I'm lonely. Okay, like, the apology, yes, I will accept. Sort of. But the lonely part, if you're looking for someone to sleep in your bed with you or cuddle with you or any of that stuff, it's not me. It's not me. It's not me, and it's not yet. And I don't know when I'm gonna be able to get to that point with anybody, let alone him. But when I said that, when I said, you know, like, what am I supposed to think? You know, he kind of was like, I told you why I messaged you. You know, I don't care about my needs. I don't care about anything. Good night. So I said good night. And that was the last I heard from him. And then, you know, it sets in like a little bit later. This was at night, of course. And it sets in and I'm like, did I read into things too much? Did I overanalyze what he was telling me because he was lonely? Did I assume that's just what he wanted from me because, you know, I'm broken and I think that that's all guys want from me because that's been the pattern in my life? You know, guy being real nice and sweet and possibly even calling me his friend, and then, you know, in the dark become a creep. Like, that's how it's been. So am I just so messed up that I've figured that's what he wanted, or is it just, I don't know. I'm going back and forth on, you know, why did you assume that? Just lonely, wanting company, like, not company. And I'm like, yeah, but those messages and the way they're worded, like, of course that's what he wanted. Like, anybody would think that. So, you know, when this happens and I overanalyze things, you know, I feel bad. So then I think to myself, I should apologize. I don't know why I'm like that. Probably because I've had so many people tell me that you're too sensitive, you overthink things, so then automatically when I say how I'm feeling or I express my feelings, my reaction, you know, an hour later after something like that, I'm usually like, I should apologize because I was wrong, because I looked into things too much, because I overanalyze things, because that's what I do. It's like that way with everyone. If I have ever poured my heart out to anyone, like told my true feelings, no sugarcoating it, like this is how I feel, I guarantee you an hour later, I'm crying my eyes out and I have my phone in my hand ready to apologize to you because I feel bad for my feelings. And I really need to stop that. I really need to stop feeling bad for how I feel, because it's not my fault. You know, if someone made me feel this way, I shouldn't have to feel like I need to apologize for just expressing that. But I do. Like, I want to apologize to him, and I'm like part of me is just like, what's wrong with you? What happened to you that made you want to apologize for your feelings? Nobody should have to apologize for how they feel. But I do. But I'm not going to. At least I don't think I'm not. No, I'm not going to. I'm not going to apologize. Because maybe I was overanalyzing what he was telling me. But I can't help the way those texts made me feel. They made me feel like he wants to use me. And that just really got me feeling shitty again about myself. So now I get to deal with that. I'm just glad that school hasn't started yet and that this can all happen like before school starts, because as soon as school starts, I want to be able to focus on that and just not worry about anything. Like, I got my apology from him, whether it was because he wanted something else or not, or just to get on my phone. I had to stop this twice because of my mom interrupting. Sorry. I just feel so stupid. Part of me feels so stupid because I'm just like, yeah, somebody actually cared, and you know, they were the ones who apologized to me. Like, that never happens. I'm always one that feels like I need to apologize, and I always do it before everyone else, so. But yeah, I don't really know what else to say about that. Just, hopefully just like let it go. I mean, like, I get people having needs and reaching out in a moment of weakness and stuff like that, but like, kind of reach out to someone else, or shit, go on Tinder and like hook up with someone there. I don't care. I really don't. Just, you know, don't come to me and make me feel like this is all I'm ever gonna be good for when it comes to guys. You know, I told him what I needed, and I told him, you know, I said, sorry I couldn't be that guy. It's like, no, sorry. I'm sorry too, because I thought he was, and then I realized he wasn't. So, do I still think there's a guy out there like that? I don't know, and I really don't give a shit at this point. The whole thing kind of put me on a guys suck mood again. But we'll see what happens. Keep you updated. I look like crap, by the way. Another fun thing, you know, I get stressed out and then I start breaking out like everywhere. That's my life. Alright, I'm gonna go. Maybe I'll do a spoken word poem thing. Or I got some stuff at the Goodwill. Maybe I'll do a video dressing up and, you know, showing the clothes off. Maybe make myself feel better. Pathetic, but it helps. Alright, I'm gonna go because this is way too long.